Hi, everyone. It's LinkedIn Live. So happy to hear you. Can hear you. Um, Leslie, why don't you say hello while I get my technical issues out?
I'm not sure if Leslie can hear. Can you hear me?
Hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep. Well,
We
good.
all hear each other?
Yeah.
You're in and out, Leslie.
Hello?
Hello, I
Anybody?
can hear you now, so thank
Oh, where's the beef?
you. At Wendy's about 40 years ago. So anyway, so happy we could all have technical difficulties together. And
Yeah. And we're
just,
late. We're late.
oh,
my God.
and just let's tell more about it. Anyways, the only thing that matters is we're here. You're here. Chat's open. Thank you so much for coming. Sorry for a few minutes late. Actually, what happened was they have a new,
I know, I've seen it.
yeah. Try the new experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't sound too impressed with it. But anyways,
Well, no, I am. But just you don't do it now. Here we come. Here come all them. But you must have gone live. Well, here we are. We're live.
well, what do you think? Everybody's hearing you blow your nose and talk
Oh,
about
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't know we were going live. Okay,
No.
sorry, everybody.
No, we're good. We're good. That's what makes it fun, is being natural. With
On
that,
a paper towel, right? Not
Yeah,
even
yeah.
a tissue.
well, not only are we late, but we're late getting started while we're here. So, with that said, thank you for joining. This is the Hour of Empower. It's nice to start out with a lot of levity. You know, we're just promoting each other in the best way we can,
Yeah.
and really kind of warming up the audience. So, with that said, it's LinkedIn Live, Hour of Empower. The word of the day is future. And that's so cool. We've got some great guests today. We've got Leslie Flowers, Harvey Tuck, and both of them are veterans of this show and really provide a lot of value, a lot of service, and a lot of generosity. So, with that said, we'll turn it over to Leslie.
To me? Okay.
No, to Harvey. We'll turn it over to Harvey. Never
Harvey?
mind.
What
Yeah,
about me?
well, it's Harvey.
Ladies first. Ladies first.
Yeah, okay, Leslie, back to you. Take it when you can.
Well, what do you want me to talk about? The future?
Well, the future, sure. That's what we're here
Okay.
for.
Oh my God. So I got a question for everybody. Do we have any control over our future? And if so, how much? And I'll answer it first, but I do want to hear what everybody else thinks. So maybe I shouldn't answer it first, but here's the question. Do we have control over our future? And if yes, how do we do that? Harvey?
Good question.
Don?
Harvey?
Yeah. Well, I think it's a fantastic question. I think it's obviously you're also the expert to answer it as well. But you pose an interesting question, and I think you can only really consider the future when you consider the other tenses, the present and the past as well. I think that they all need to be looked at in the concept of time. The future is definitely the most exciting. You know, you can ponder the past, you can learn by the past, and you can reminisce about the past. You can enjoy the present, and you absolutely should. But the future is something that you can plan for, something that you can have goals, aims, desires, and it's exciting because, you know, you can change that every day. You never know where a little decision you make can affect and change the future. You know, I'm sure we can all do it, sort of pinpoint times in my life where if we hadn't made a little decision that day, our life would have gone down a different path. So I think some of the future is within our control and our power, absolutely. our aims and our goals and manifestation and so forth. But some of it is an enjoyable surprise. So that's what I think.
I love
Well,
it.
when you look at the future,
Donald, what do you think?
well, I was just going to say,
Yeah.
I hope everybody can hear me, but yeah, the future is what it says it is, the future. And where you are is always the launching pad to the future. And the question is, how do you get the rocket up and out? And I think there's the hope, because with future gives opportunity. And I think that's really a key foundation to the future, is if you see opportunity, if you feel opportunity, tomorrow can be a lot better than the past. And the past, whatever it is a good measure to the future, right? If you've been in the lowest valley, you're going to appreciate the highest mountain more than someone just lived in the mountains all their life. So, with that said, it's a lot to do with perspective, attitude, mindset. Leslie's an expert on mindset with her Think and Grow Rich series. Harvey's got his props and his ability to project into the future, and the show and its ability to connect people with knowledge share, with empathy, really supports the future, right? Who are you taking in the future with you is the big question, because it's who you're with and then what you're with them, then what you're with, and then finding somebody to fit all that stuff later. So working on the team, working on the group, and seeing this group excel, evolve, blossom. But I still feel that there's a challenge with best practices and going to work. So attitude can go so far. So I'm actually thinking about now bringing a tip of the day in, right? And then starting a class in about 2 weeks for 4 weeks only for LinkedIn training. Because the challenge I have sometimes is when I thought, let's do a show on it. Honestly, I don't know one person that I know that I could bring on the show and talk about what they do every day and how they do it. And I think you could do so much more in less time with less trouble if you understood how the pieces come together. So anyway, just like words, strategy is the same thing. You got to connect the dots.
So can we go back to the original question? Is that possible?
I was thinking of that. It did come into my mind at a certain
point. Oh, good.
For saying that, here, I forgot the original question. Maybe that's why I went off. But why don't you share the original question? But I need to recognize the audience. So everybody hold your breath for the question again. Okay, that's enough. No one wants to get hurt here. Thank you so much for coming. I'm honored also. Here we have Dennis, just got LinkedIn. We can hear and happy to be here too. It was 1 minute and 15 seconds, and I try to be here on time, but I tried a newfangled thing, which I'm not going to ever do 10 minutes before the show starts. Chief says, we can hear you. The future is here now.
Well, so the question was, while you're bringing these on, is do we have control over our future? And if so, how would we do that? If you believe we do, how would you do it? So please proceed, Donald.
Yeah, okay, great question. Do we have control over our future?
That's right. And if we do, how would a person do that? If you believe that you do, how would you do that?
Great question. And I'm waiting for answers from the audience.
Yeah.
After we cover the audience, Harvey could be the first one to share his answer to that question.
He already did. Now it's my turn.
Okay, it's your turn. Let me finish with everybody.
Please.
See how different people come together in different ways. It's called positive antagonism. Blowing your nose and being in the nose works well. Morning, Dean says. It's always a good morning when Dean's here. I've been eating more potatoes since you came on the show months ago, Dean. So here's to Idaho. Hi, Leslie. Hi, Harvey. Donald, thank you. And John. Aharon is here. Thank you. Great. 50-50. Stephen's here. I saw Stephen on the show yesterday with Sia. Thanks for coming, Stephen. Looking to have Stephen come on the show. Paul's here. Hello, Harvey, Grandpa. I'm so grateful to be here to learn and support you all. Some of my favorite people. Well, it's always nice. Paul comes in, gives a salutation and gratitude, and then he starts contributing. So, it does it all. Here we go with Stephen. Okay, great. Here's a sheaf with his first comment. Define it first. Realist. Paul shows up with what a loaded question, Dr. Leslie. I think she memorized it too because she repeated it the second time the same way as the first time. I think it's an interesting question technically. You must get the laughing going today, huh? Must be me. I'd say no, because tomorrow isn't promised. However, we can make a decision to potentially live longer and put yourself in a better position. Well, that's a great point because everything is perspective. Somebody's future to somebody else's would be the best thing in the world, right? So it's just relative to where you're coming from and where you plan on going. Plus, what does it take to satisfy you into feeling the future is getting better? What can you pick up now that says this is a signal of good things to come, or this is a warning sign? Let's get back where we need to be. A solid foundation today, you will tomorrow find your way. Well said. Let's get to something. Here we go. Patricia, I haven't seen you in the past, but so welcome to have you here. You definitely want to be careful who you bring into your future. I regret bringing someone into my present. That's all. Being able to be particular on a regular day-to-day basis. You keep reshuffling the deck, right, with what you see, what you feel, what you hear, and that changes who you need to be with or who you need not to be with, right? Everything's a play. You pick the characters, the costumes, the whole thing. Frank's here. Haven't seen you in a while. Just woke up. So good to hear. And Dennis says, thanks for mentioning us. Okay. Leslie, who's next?
I am.
Okay, good. I thought so.
Well, I asked a question. Harvey gave an answer loaded with information. You forgot the question. So you gave us a lot of related information. Now, you always do. But I want to come back to what we have control over. So if you were to give it percentages, I would say 95%. The answer is yes. You absolutely can control your future. Now, to Paul's point about changes along the way, as long as what you want doesn't change, the path always will. So, in my experience, the way you control your outcomes in your own future is by what you're thinking and how often you think it. So the answer for me is absolutely yes. And when you learn how to control your own future, every day has a mindset of wealth, health, and happiness. It's what you think, how often you think it, and the vibration of the words you use, which is so much a part of this. Now, do we do it alone? Or do we do it all by ourselves? Is my next question. Do we do this alone or with others? And I want to give a hint here. It's not another human being. So if we do it alone, that's one thing. And if we don't, who is our partner? What is our partner?
That's a long question, Leslie. But
okay, let me start again. I'll say it simpler.
Okay.
Can we do this by ourselves or do we need help?
Well put. Okay. We'll go with the second version going forward. So ponder that and respond to it if you can. If not, no more questions to the audience. We're just going to look for answers.
Harvey, what's your
It's
answer
your
to
turn.
that one?
Jump in.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think, can we do it on our own? Part of it, but I think the desire and the goals have to come from within.
Mhm.
But can we do the whole thing by ourselves? No, I don't think we can. I think we need a bit of help, or I certainly think it makes it easier. Some people might be able to do it on their own, maybe.
What if it's not a human being? If you believe we need help, and it's not a
Are you
human.
talking about my cat now?
Yes, I am.
Oh, imitations. I thought singing and comedy was all you had to offer.
Oh, of course. Yeah. And actually, I just need to pause for a moment to compliment your singing, because
Oh.
I caught your LinkedIn Live, the last one you did,
Oh, thank
and your song at the end was beautiful. My wife thought it was beautiful as well. So
Oh,
your
thank
singing is beautiful. Thank you. I just want to pick up actually on just a few things that people have said, actually. if that's
Please.
okay. So Paul said that tomorrow isn't promised. And I quite like that as an expression, because you can plan your future, but there are certain things that are out of your control, you know. So therefore, I think if you set goals that are exciting and interesting to you on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis, even if you don't achieve them, I think the journey that you'll go on in trying to achieve them will unveil certain opportunities. And if you're going for 100% of something and you hit 80%, that's a heck of a lot better than zero.
Yeah,
Or
it
not
isn't
having-
over. It isn't over, right?
So that's it. You keep changing it, or you don't say I've failed. You say, well, look, I've got this far, and I can go further. I can change the goal. So I like what Paul said about tomorrow. Sorry, nearly broke my laptop there. I wanted to. No, that wasn't even my cat. That was me. I wanted to. This isn't actually a prop. I suppose it is, but I wanted to share a quote. I've got a little desk calendar here. So I'm going to share a little quote. It wasn't the prop. There's one to come. It says, happiness only happens in the present moment. If you are happy now, there is nothing else to accomplish. Indeed, if you become concerned about whether you will be happy tomorrow or even in 5 minutes from now, you may forget to be happy now. So I think it's fantastic to think about the future and to plan for it, but not at the expense of the present all the time.
Yeah, I think everybody's pushing the power of now. And when you realize that today's present was yesterday's future, right? What are you doing today to make tomorrow's future? I mean, did you think a year ago you'd be where you are today and what you did or didn't do to get to where you are? And how is that progression or trajectory going? And I think gratitude has a lot to do moving forward into the future as opposed to regret, right? Because then you got to make something up just to get ahead versus going in with a tailwind. And everything is what it is. It's what you want to add to it for as long as you want to, right? You break a glass yesterday, it's done. It ain't coming back together. Now you can think about whose it was and when you got it and what it cost.
And it was your fault. You broke it.
Sure, but that's how you respond to things. And if you're just grateful for having it for as long as you did and using it, and if you always believe that helps the future too, there's a lot of things that have yet to develop, so you don't have the whole picture in the present to make a judgment into the future, right? As long as there's time, in poker, they had a saying, all you need is a chip and a chair. So if you got one chip and a chair, and what was interesting, it came from the World Series of Poker where one person got down to one single chip and came back and won the tournament, if you can believe that. So it's the same thing in life. If you're grateful for what you have, who you're with, and what you could have had, either way, I think that brings a perspective. Yeah, Harvey's a little low on the screen. We're always, here's another thing I want to share with all the speakers. Very good, Harvey. Now I got to move up, so I'm not looking small. Is that when people use their hands, it creates like 60% more awareness, if that's believable. So because there's action, right? There's movement. So that's something people can consider. So let's go through these real quick.
Look at what Paul has to say about my question.
What the loaded question was?
No, the latest one. The answer Dr. Leslie is looking for is when you take action, the universe is your silent partner. And to that point, oh, Paul is just filled with joy all the time. So here's how we do it with other people. Okay, so we do have partners, human partners that support us and save us time. And how the universe plays a part in this is through mastermind, the concept. So, sometimes you're having a conversation with several people and you get an idea for another person and you have no clue about what they do, but an idea pops into your head that they haven't thought of. And that is mastermind. What that tells us you could consider is that all ideas are here and the universe has them flow constantly from thought energy to us, through us, and then back, if we don't do anything with it, back into the universe. So mastermind and having other people involved is they have the answers. They get answers for you. You've gotten answers for other people that just pop into your head that they haven't thought of. So that is the universe, and they are our partner. And if you may not know exactly how it works yet, but I can tell you that the way you communicate with the universe and align the universe and get good mastermind partners and people helping you is through your vibration. What are you thinking about? Is it positive? Is it in service? Does it have a big impact on other people? Are you heart-centered? Are you grateful? Are you kind? So all those words actually have a vibration, an amplitude of vibration, and that's how you communicate with the universe. If you're always putting out positive, you'll notice that positive people show up. And if you put out negative, you'll find yourself surrounded by people who want to be more negative than you. So we can control it. We have a partner, and the universe provides ideas to all of us to help one another. It's kind of like that iceberg, right? Like the top of the iceberg looks like one thing. I know what it's like. It's like islands. So you could say that we're all islands, right, as we look at them on the surface. But if you look below, you'll see that they are not separate. Same thing with trees. And same thing with us, human beings. We are always receiving ideas. The question is if we're going to do anything with them. There you go.
Very well said.
Thank you. Without teaching, I didn't teach anything.
Well, I wasn't going to say that.
I'm offering it for consideration. That's all.
Semantics. It can be used in so many different ways.
Donald, you're a crack up.
I tried.
Don't quit your day job.
No. There's too many starving comedians out there. Doing it with people, it's correct, I think. Harvey said it before. Lillian, who's from Romania, wonderful lady. Good morning, evening, everyone. Happy Sunday. Ashif says, milestones don't have to be a mile long. 100%. Yeah, that's a good point. How far in the future do you have to look into the future? Right? Is the future?
2 steps.
Well, I'm saying, is it one day? Is it a year? Is it forever? Minerva says, hello, everyone. Shares our future is in our hands to prepare. Always have a plan. Achieve as you go along. Yeah, little baby steps will get you wherever you're going to. And you can celebrate the journey when you have little successes. got to go off to yoga. Good luck, Dennis. Thanks for being here. Doctor, I'm learning so much about the author. Well, you got a fan. Why don't you? That'd be a great show. Leslie and Paul. Hello, Donald. Guest Minerva says. Paul comes back with is looking for is when you take action, the universe is your silent partner.
That's right.
So true. And John, sealed a leakage today. Tomorrow may be crescendo. You know, it's whatever it is you're building for tomorrow that can support you into the future. One foot in the past, one in the future, you're kind of, you're nowhere. You know, you can't be on two sides of the fence at the same time. Our world is filled with lies. Send out the results you're thinking. Gratitude shapes attitude.
I think she meant love, but anyway.
Okay, probably.
Yeah.
Something my mentor tells me is that nearly every problem has already been solved. You just have to find the resource. Thank you for coming here, Rita. Good morning. Nice to see you. Rita's going to be on Wednesday and I believe Tuesday this week. But the question is, how long would it take to manifest? So true.
It depends. And let me answer that one. It's not
no,
up to
no,
you.
no.
Don't answer that one.
No, it's Harvey's turn.
Okay.
Harvey.
I'm very patient. Well,
I'm in the middle, referee.
First of all, I wanted to comment on what Leslie said about the fact that if sometimes we're helping other people and we don't know we are. And I like that because I kind of live by that a little. So I like to help other people. And I'm finding that people are just helping me. Those opportunities are arriving. And there isn't a plan for that apart from just help other people. So I like that. You know, I believe that. And I think that was great. I loved what Paul said about all problems have been solved. You just need to find the resource. I thought that was a fantastic way of looking at problems, that they've all been solved. And you're just trying to find out what that solution is. You know, that's kind of what science is. You know, they're constantly trying to look at a problem that hasn't been solved yet. I like what we were all saying and what Guru Charan, I think, said, which is how long will it take to manifest? And I know you were about to answer that one, so I won't go too deep into that. But I think you're right. I think it will vary. And I think no matter how long it takes, you can reset that. But how far into the future is the future? I thought that was a really interesting question you posed, because whatever we are doing right now, as soon as we've said the words, it becomes the past. So I think we are constantly living in a minute state between the two tenses. You know, the present is a very short period of time. So I think that's why we constantly consider the past and the future, because they're periods of time that are easier to summarize or consider. You know, we've got more time to think about the future, and we've got more experience and learnings when we consider the past. So that's why I think I said at the beginning that both the past and the future are as important as each other for whatever the present is, even though that's pretty small. And I do like all you need is a chip in a chair. I've written that one down. I like that one. It's a nice little simple statement, and I like the story that went along with it. I'm not very good at poker, but
well, no, it's great to find nuance and facets of something that people don't always see, but when you show them to them, they see that as an addition or a complement to what they're doing. And you know, I think a caveat to looking at the future is knowing that there's things you have yet to learn that you will in the future, and there's people who have yet to meet who you will, and that's the secret. When do they show up? How do they show up? You know, and if it, you know, that's where that statement we always try to share is, if you can't do it, could we do it? Right? Your future may depend on somebody else's participation. You know, if you're looking for a job, it's going to be someone has to offer it to you. If you're looking to take a trip, you've got to take the activity. So I think future is determined by action naturally. I mean, thought's important, reflection is great. But if you look at life as a continuum and not an outcome where nothing starts or stops, it just continues, is tomorrow's a new day for everyone. And if people believe the sun will come up, then everything is peachy if you take action. And if you can't take action to get help, either one works, either yours or theirs, but collectively it works better. Before I turn it back to Leslie, want to.
Well, but can you put that back up? I wanted to address that.
No, you'll get that after we announce everything.
Okay.
Minerva says, I meant words have life. Stephen says,
Thank you.
Leslie Flowers, your attitude and actions affect the universe. With the right people partnering with you, you can checkmate negativity. Rita comes back with future is now for sure. All you have is now when you have it. Hello, everyone. Incremental progress works. Paul comes back with Guru, that's subjective because there's many variables. You could be right place, right time, take massive action, etc. What I will tell you in my experience is we underestimate how much work it'll take to achieve our goals and also underestimate, I'll finish, how sweet the reward is. It's all, the game is between you and yourself no matter how you play it. Rita says big waves. Paul comes back. Don is the moderator. Stand up for Don every chance you get. Hello, Cindy. Great to see you. Or shall we use referee? What a unique uniform we have there, Don. I see a change in your future. I hope. I'm always looking for change. Good change. And if you can laugh, you're in a good place in the present. Right?
That's right.
You've allowed yourself the grace or the time to enjoy yourself, to enjoy the people around. That's why even some of the mishaps in the beginning is, if you can laugh at things most people would take seriously.
Yeah.
Right? You have a far advantage over trying to calm down before you go forward when you're already happy. And the idea that the future is rolling to it. Just like rolling thunder, rolling laughter, you want to roll into tomorrow based on the joy or the happiness you had today. I mean, I went to my grandkids' play they put on in a cultural center, okay? Best thing I ever did this year, and it was just taking that time and seeing 10, 12-year-old kids doing something they just learned in the last week. And that's where the future is. Right? With happiness, with beauty, with children. At an older age, you don't care about a new Jaguar. That's like the last thing. If someone pulled it up to the curb and says it's yours and I couldn't sell it, I wouldn't want it. Rita comes back, need a second chance. There's always tomorrow. Why not? If you believe in tomorrow, you're believing in something. Right? And that's important, to believe in something. Good morning to all from my side. Wonderful to join the session. Do we have another? Okay. Rita says laughter softens life's rough edges. For sure. And we did come to the point where we're almost ready to turn it over to Leslie again. Only human beings can laugh. So as long as I can laugh, I will never be poor Agmandino. Scroll 7, I will laugh at the world. And Paul's an expert on that, just like Leslie's an expert on Think and Grow Rich. Back to Leslie. What's new? Do you want to go back to that comment that everybody forgot about?
Well, I know what everybody forgot about it. You don't know where I didn't forget about it. But anyway, what I wanted to mention here was the past and the future. So we need to be very careful that we don't make decisions based on our past. I'll give you an example. When my marriage broke up and I started dating, I carried a lot of baggage with me. I had a lot of perceptions, views, all men are this way. And so to healing oneself and resolving the past before you date lets go of that baggage. So frankly, I wouldn't have dated me because every bad relationship I had was right there in my face, and I'm looking for it. I'm looking for this new guy, and he doesn't have an ice cube's chance, right? Because I've already put on him that you're going to do this and you're going to do this. So about the past, take the positive things, which is synthetic imagination. Don't take the negative things, because with those negative things lowers your vibration and you begin to attract that same thing. So that's something to consider. Now, how long does it take to manifest? You know, that's not up to you. You set a date by when you want to have this thing. And I purport one goal every 90 days because honestly, I've discovered with 500 quarterly goals that people didn't know how to do achieved, I can tell you that 90 days is about how long you're going to be able to stay motivated and not get distracted. And it actually takes something. But that doesn't mean that you don't have a large philanthropic goal. And all your smaller goals or your 90-day goals, whatever those are, they are going to build the momentum to fill out your philanthropic goal, and that could change over the years. The point is holding the image of a orphanage in the mountains of North Carolina in 2026. Let's say that's what I want to do. Okay, that in 2026, I want an orphanage in the mountains of North Carolina, and I'm going to need $2.5 million for it. That's very challenging to keep it top of mind. So what you do is you do your business in generating revenue and serving others, which helps you get to whatever that philanthropic goal is. Who decides the day of manifestation isn't us. It's one of the 7 laws of the universe. And sometimes if you're not going to achieve it and it doesn't look like it's possible or something's not right, it could be that the idea, to your point, Donald, or I think it was you who said this, you still have learning to do, and the universe knows this. You're not going to get these humongous goals until you have done the work on yourself and you've learned what you need to learn to be a vibrational match to that big goal. So occasionally, not often, you will not reach your goal because you weren't ready. So the law of gender or gestation is the one that actually says the day. You do everything you know to do. Think about it, talk about it, visualize it. And one other little thing to drop in there. Everything is created twice in the world. First, in an image on the screen of our mind. That image has vibration, and it's what motivates you. Then, if you love the thing, you will move toward it at this high vibration. And that's how people and opportunities that are perfect for your goal show up. Because whatever your amplitude of vibration, the way you're feeling, as you move toward what you want, the universe is sending you people and opportunities that match what you want. So there really are no coincidences. And that was like too much teaching. So whatever you want to say.
Yeah, way too much. And
way too much.
What made me laugh is when you said one little thing.
Yeah. One little thing. And little is relative. It's one of the laws. So there is no little unless you compare it to something big.
No, I know. Anyways, it was a great recitation. I'm doing the Gettysburg Address now.
Okay,
so
please.
Hold on.
Okay.
So let me go.
I'm dropping nuggets, and you know what? Here's the thing: if one person resonates with one little thing, the show is worth it.
Yeah, for sure. Why not go for 2?
I really liked what Cynthia's put there. I wrote that one down actually.
Harvey, please.
Yeah, I wrote what Cynthia said down here, because and it's exactly what's on the screen now, and I thought this was a really, really nice thing and wise thing for everyone to read as well. The past is kind enough to give you lessons, the present is kind enough to give you opportunities, and the future is kind enough to give you both. And I think that is a great summary of what the future can mean and how to consider the present and the past. So a little round.
Love it.
Ashif said a couple of good things I really liked. Believe it and you will do it. I like that. I think that's true. I think you need faith and belief in what you're going to do. I think I've written down here good habits as well. And I think if you turn your goals and your aims and how you're going to do that into a habit, and then make that a good habit, then that starts to become a little easier. There was
you believe it. Habits are beliefs.
Yeah.
So absolutely. Once you have a habit, you actually believe that, and your results will match your beliefs.
Definitely. Rita's come out with some fantastic things as well. I mean, so many gems today. I mean, I can't keep up with them, but need a second chance. There's always tomorrow. I love that as well. Because if you're looking at what you're trying to achieve and you haven't achieved it on a date you've set, then just realign with a different date, with a different set of people helping you. There's all sorts of things you can do to change that. And she also put laughter softens life's rough edges, and I really agree with that. You know, we've had a good laugh today, and on that I've got to recommend some people to connect with if you want a good laugh, because it's just important. There's just 5 people. I'm going to read them out: Britt Crawford, Martin Brown, Mark Mason, John McCarthy, and Nick Smehurst. Just connect with them. Every day they put jokes on LinkedIn and they make me laugh. So
put those in the comments when you come back, will you please, for me? Yeah,
that's important. So, you know, we've been doing a pretty good job of recognizing the audience. Minerva says, don't move forward with baggage that is the trash or to recycle. Open a new page. Yeah, it's like, if you're going to go all the way, it is the self that we learn to disrespect or even hate. Self-love and self-respect are what matters. Past does not exist nor future. If you don't value yourself, don't expect other people to value you. It's just the way it is, you know. Dress up and people see you dressed up or dressed down. I understand, however, unlearning the negative experience of the past to relearn and receive new experience in a positive direction for the future seems to be more difficult a task for the human mind. Nevertheless, I will keep trying. Thank you very much. Well, you know, it's a process. Leslie, hold on. It's a process. It's a process. And I think everybody, you know, if you can look at life as a mystery, as a puzzle, as a new door every day, instead of an entitlement, an expectation to make up for the past, for something that had nothing to do with the past, you know. And I think Leslie made a good point, is where you go with what you have is what people are going to see.
That's right.
And if you pack for a trip, if you're going to the mountains, you don't want to pack for the jungle, and vice versa. Mm-hmm. And I think the other point Leslie made is, if you're not attractive to yourself, who is going to be attracted to you? You know, when people would come for an interview, if they wouldn't look at me and get there on time and look like they put some thought into it, their numbers went down pretty quickly. So anything here, Leslie, that you want?
Yeah. There's one thing I want to address here. This is kind of interesting. This is one of the coolest distinction. So I would say about this, we don't unlearn. Everything you learn is what you learn. You do not unlearn, you learn new things. And those new things have more weight. They take precedent over, but physically it is not possible to unlearn something you've already learned. So it's like when people say, we'll change your habit, change your belief, or we'll dissolve your habit. You can't. What you do, because they're the same energy, so the energies don't flip-flop. What you do is you create new ones, at your level of perception, your level of awareness that serve you better and outweigh the old ones. But you'll notice even those things that you thought maybe you unlearned, they're still there, because every so often you'll hear them whisper, yeah, but Leslie, yeah, but Leslie, right? But you have learned new stuff. So when you hear people say unlearn or dissolve limiting beliefs, know that what you're really doing is creating a new belief, a new habit that serves you better and outweighs the old. The end.
Good. What I'd like to say to that is everybody comes from a different environment,
Yeah.
different household, different country, different culture, different language, whatever it is. And then everybody sees things different than everybody else, right? You show somebody an object, they'll give you 20 different interpretations.
Yes, but if you know scientifically that something is not physically possible, what is the benefit of focusing on unlearning when it's not possible?
No, I don't even care about the unlearning part.
Okay.
I've accepted that.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is there are no absolutes. It's like psychology. Everybody's different. Everybody, and it doesn't. And if you take judgment away from it,
Mhm.
right? If you don't say right and wrong or in
That's
or
right.
out, if you just respect everybody for, hey, that's where they are, and what
Well, it means they haven't learned this.
no,
Right. We're
but-
all learning.
yeah,
Right?
but if the first goal is to be authentic,
Mhm.
right, and be real and honest as much as you can,
Mhm.
then wherever you are, that's where it is. Now, relative or conditional to something else, that's when you get complicated. But Harvey has got so much wisdom, and now's his chance to share it.
I'm not sure about that, but thank you very much. It's very kind. Very kind.
If it makes you blush, it was worthwhile. So, anyways,
I just picked up on again, the comments today have been great, and it's making this really easy because I'm just getting excited and just reading them out. But that's all part of the fun. James Angelo said, love and self-respect is what matters, rather than considering future, past, present, and being focused on time as such, being focused on, I guess, your values, and not necessarily put those in a time frame. I just liked considering that. That's all. Minerva, sorry if I mispronounced that, but put about starting a new chapter, and I like that as well, because again, you can. I think your goals, you can put it like a book. You can put them into different chapters, and they can be for different parts of your life, and they can change. And a book has got a beginning, a middle, and an end. And in fact, Paul said that when he was young, he did puzzles and he read books, and that's a metaphor for life. And I also like that we're all doing puzzles and reading books. I think it is a metaphor for at least part of life. So I like that. But you know what time it is, don't you?
It's time for your prop.
It's prop time. It is.
Wouldn't be a show with Harvey without a prop. We've been
Of
waiting
course.
patiently.
Of course. Yeah.
See what you got today.
So I'm going to actually go back to a comment that Paul said fairly near the beginning. Gratitude allows us to sustain optimism. Now, the reason I'm going back to that comment, apart from the fact that it was a really good one, the person who said that was Michael J. Fox. My prop today is this little beauty.
Oh, DeLorean.
Back to the
You all know this.
future. Oh,
Yes. So I bought the DeLorean, a time machine. And I thought it was a good one, because when you think of the film, you think of the fact that they can't change the past. They can only alter the future, and they can alter the future by doing different things in the past that gives that, that different path. So I think it's important to realize that some decisions you make Sometimes you're not going to know, but it's important to realize that sometimes you're going to be making a life-changing decision or a life-changing connection, and you might not know necessarily. We don't all have DeLoreans, unfortunately. I'd like one of those. Well, I have got one, but but I think it's important to realize we look back on these little moments, these pivotal moments where our life took a particular path. But it's sometimes worth considering what those moments might be in the future as well.
Those are very, very good points. And what comes to mind is the past is huge. What parts of the past are you attracted to? How many people have pictures on their dresser or throughout their house? And those are parts of the past they want around them. They want to see and re-experience what it was to be at that party or with those people. And what you take with you serves you into the future versus the pictures you take in your mind that made you feel bad or kept you stuck for a while or distrustful. So, it's really about, remember those little etch-a-sketches or whatever? You draw some and all of a sudden you could erase it almost instantly. Well, in a lot of cases, why not start your day with a fresh page? Try it with nothing from the past. Go 100% in on the present, moving to the future, versus having to recount, redo it. After a while, enough's enough. And the other thing is once you get balance, stay there. This isn't always climbing the mountain every step of the way. When you're getting to a safe, happy place, that's what the goal was all about. And that's the place you should celebrate and enjoy. So, almost closing comments. Leslie, what's your definition now? Oh, the rolling eyes I got.
No, I'm taking a breath. What's the question?
Where are you now from?
Where am I now?
From where we started with where you were at the beginning with the word future, if we can.
Yeah. So where am I now? That's right, because we're toward the end here. So where am I now? What I would say where I am now is, as I leave you all today, picture yourself having whatever it is you want and already having it. So when you want a future, let's say I want to buy a beach house. Picture yourself walking around inside the beach house and people there, rather than I want this beach house and I see it over there along the coastline. I'm using my hands to get the point across according to Grandpa Donald here.
It works.
It works. Okay, so visualize what you want, whatever your goal, intention, or purpose is, as though you already have it, because that will raise your vibration. It's exciting and motivating. That's where I am. Create your future by standing in the present in the future.
Good point. I think that was well said. And, what's important about it is realizing you do have control over your future, right? And your future is what you choose to design. And I think Leslie's point on visualization is so important in everything you do. And even if it doesn't change what you do, it changes how you feel about what you do, right?
Exactly.
Right? If someone says, you're going to go to the best Italian restaurant of your life, I can't tell you how great it is. Going in, you're expecting that. You're looking to find it, to validate your friend, and you think they have good taste and advice. It's the same thing here. How many times did you walk into something a different person than other times you walked in? Right? Confident, happy, full of energy, and the room just becomes magical. And if you stumble in and you're thinking about where you came from and where you're going, there is no present. You're a prisoner of 1 foot in the past and 1 foot in the future, maybe frustration of the past, fear of the future. versus the joy and the beauty of the moment, because that's when you show up, is the moment. Harvey, what's your new thoughts and definition of future now that we've spent almost an hour?
I mean, I've got lots of new definitions here of, what I consider. I like what you've just said, actually. I think we should never regret the past. I think we should learn from it. Ashif said, never regret anything that made you happy. I like that as well. But also don't regret things that didn't make you happy as well, because your past, it's a mixture, it's a mixed bag, and all of those things have formed and molded who you are. What's happening right now is continuing to mold who you're going to be, and yeah, you can't change the past. You can only go back to the future. I wanted to drop in another back to the future. That's good. I like that. Can't change the past. You can only go back to the future. I'm going to end there.
Well, here, let me tell you one quick story. Actually, one of the comments today was Back to the Future with Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd. Now, a week ago, my grandson, who's 10, went to Comic-Con, right? And people line up and they dress up. Anyways, he got a chance to meet Christopher Lloyd.
Really? That's amazing.
And I actually got
cool.
And Christopher Lloyd was such a gentleman. Not only did he shake Leo's hand, but he held it for an extra 15 seconds.
Oh.
And then and then Leo put up on his wall the signed picture of Michael J. Fox next to Christopher Lloyd. So it's just so weird that maybe that's how I came up with future a week ago, is thinking of that. And it's funny how a nugget falls into your head from somewhere else and then moves to something else with so many other people involved. And then it brings up people's memories of Back to the Future, right? And so it's funny how they say like a butterfly in Chile can create a hurricane somewhere in the world just by the movement of their wings, creates a chain reaction, right, that continues throughout the world. So I think that's where words are so important, is you put a stamp on them, and sometimes they go all kinds of different places to different people. You'll never know the third leg of the journey, right? You said a word to Leslie goes out and says it to 50 people, and that's what we have here, is the ability to get known for who we are, and more importantly, how we come together and do things. Because if you're looking for a position for yourself or for someone else, it's going to be like, how do you work in a team? How do you promote each other? How do you support each other? And this is visual proof. So with that said,
one more little thing to say.
We got time.
We got 30 seconds. So I saw something that concerns me. And I just want to share with everybody, as you're setting your goals, be very careful never to use SMART goals. If you look up the history of how they were designed, they were not designed for dreams. They were designed for tasks to achieve your goal. So if you want consistent goals, right, to achieve consistently, never use SMART goals. And if you want to question this, go look up the history of them and you'll see they were never designed for goals. And that's why people don't achieve consistently, because there's a realistic, which you don't know how you're going to achieve it. So realistic cuts down that, and also specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, achievable. You don't know when you go for a big goal that you're going to achieve it. So people make mistakes. All we had were SMART goals. Go look and see how they were designed, and that could be the answer to why you haven't been consistently achieving, because that doesn't work effectively.
Can I add one more thing before we go? It's a real quick one.
Yes.
If you can't get enough of both Leslie and I, we are on a quiz.
Oh, that's right.
Quiz with the wonderful Omar in 1 hour's time, and Matt Allen from Kudos. So I'm really looking forward to that. Leslie's going to completely thrash me, no doubt.
I don't know. They're writing the questions, so they may write them for you.
Anyway, so yes, do support if you can, and thank you everybody for today. It's been a fantastic thing to be a part of on a Sunday. Thank you.
Well, it's great to have both of you. You know, we bring a lot of energy, a lot of intensity and desire to get the word out that we feel could help people.
Mm-hmm.
And also it's a catharsis for everyone. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? I never know what I'm going to say before I get here. And it's based on what someone said before or someone commented before. So everybody is a prop from a standpoint of keeping people up, right? Almost like an anchor. Okay, now we've got Leslie who's animated again.
No, but look at Cynthia said she met her husband at Comic-Con. That just cracks me up.
You never know what you don't know.
I know.
You should never discount something. I mean, it just, why did you go there? Why did someone meet you there? Why did you say hello? I mean, that's the beauty of the future. And what I would also say is recalibrate all the time. You know, just if you do it on a regular basis, just tracking, right? As you track your mileage, you track your expenses, you know, track your future. You know, and
Zig Ziglar used to call it a checkup from the neck up.
well, that's a good way of putting it. And you know, I think, you know, there's a saying, if it's going to be, it's up to me, right? Your future is going to be dependent on you, not the cavalry showing up one day, you know. And I think to Leslie's point, that's important. It has to be sustainable. Change that's just artificial, or you're paying for what you're getting, and when you stop paying, you stop getting, doesn't work. So it's the short-term pain for long-term gain you want to get into, you know, and giving yourself some grace, saying, I'm just learning stuff for the first time.
Yeah.
When you, if you drop something like a bowling ball the first time you picked up and someone yelled at you, wouldn't you say it's the first time I ever picked a ball up? What do you expect, you know? And that's the same thing you need to tell yourself is, I'm okay, it's okay, and it's going to be okay. You know, and no matter what's happened, I'm ready to go. So with that said, please tune in to the next show with Harvey and Leslie. I can't wait to see who's in the middle of that conversation and how they do. And with everything said, we went over 2 minutes, which covered a minute and a half. We were short to start with.
Right.
Now
That's
we're
right.
ahead of the game. So I think what we showed today is the future can be built on laughter, positive discourse, you know, and the joy and the value of others around us. And it's not the words you say, it's the music that you play with the words, and that comes through your disposition and being the more forgiving person of the bunch, being the better person, and knowing it doesn't cost much to do that. You know, it just says, I'm not going to think about myself completely when I'm about to do what I'm about to do. And I think that gives you some time out. So anyways, we could talk forever, and that's why we're back tomorrow. And tomorrow's guest, before we sign off, we've got, let me see.
Rita?
Yeah, we've got, well.
Rita's on twice this week, I noticed.
Let me see. No, we've got Jody Lamb. And actually Mike Aschenbrenner.
That's right. That's right. That's
from
right.
the Hounds coming tomorrow. Beverly and Rita are on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then Rita and Catherine, who is just great. Catherine Chadwick, she was here before. And then a new gentleman, Danny's here. I know that Harvey knows him. He's coming on Thursday. And then Friday, Natalie's coming back with Christy. And we got a great week ahead. So with that, I want to thank Leslie, Harvey, the audience. Have yourself a beautiful, happy future. And tune in to Harvey and Leslie coming up, and that'll even expand on what you did today. So with that, thank you very much. Take care. Bye for now.